Tell us, about Aurora. Aurora is a very old city. And when I say I'm going to reference Aurora here in this show, but feel free to talk about the surrounding areas too. I'll just kind of reference it as Aurora. But tell us about kind of the housing stock, the age, or the, there's some new stuff, there's some old stuff. Kind of tell us your experience in some of that housing stock.
Yeah, you betcha. So I consider towns like Aurora, Elgin, and Joliet to be kind of one and the same, because you think about where they came from. They're old river towns, really, where a lot of manufacturing was done. So, 100 years ago, Aurora, Elgin, Joliet were the crown jewel of, the suburbs, frankly. And in the information age, that's certainly changed. And all three towns are, they're finding their way in the 21st century. But Aurora, to me, is very similar to Elgin and to where it's at in the redevelopment process. Now, having said all that, to answer your question, Mark, ultimately housing stock starts anywhere from the mid 1850s to 2020, right? And when you start from the core of downtown Aurora, where the Fox River meets Galena, in essence, that's where you're going to find your older housing, because that's really where the city was founded. As you go out from that epicenter, housing stock only gets newer and better. But at the end of the day, what really makes Aurora advantageous is its diversity of housing, diversity of people, diversity of employment, and and touching on what I touched on before, I mean, ultimately the rent to price value ratio is fantastic. And then being that we're such a large city, there's a lot of opportunities when it comes to different types of development programs, tax credits, grants, things of that nature. So it's and the other thing I should mention too, if you think about west of Aurora, there's the rest of Illinois out there, right? And we take that for granted. So to me, Aurora, Joliet, Elgin is kind of like the gateway to the west of Illinois. Won't go too far down that rabbit hole, but I think that adds to what you stated, Mark, in regards to Aurora really being like its own economic epicenter, I suppose, for lack of a better word.